Hello, good morning guys. I'm gonna do the market open update. As you can see on the 4 hour, we have managed to break out on this trend line. Yesterday, thanks to the Degen setup I published in the first video, which was on the 1 hour time frame, that was showing some strength against the trend line downward sloping, and we saw a breakout from that. And thanks to that, we have managed to move all the way from 82 to around 88. So at the moment, the focus is on whether this can hold in here. And I think the events on Friday, the crypto summit, could be the thing that at the moment is helping the price to actually perform well, thanks to that setup on the 1 hour that we saw here around this range. Now we have managed to claim back the previous neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. That time we crossed into this area of 87, and from there we pretty much went all the way to the next level of 94.8. So I'm watching out in here this retest that we are doing, because below we have a fair value gap that can bring us back into 85 at the same levels where we have the shoulders of the previous pattern. And if we do that, of course, we are back below resistance. But if we could hold in here at the 86.7, there is higher chances that then we can go for the next fair value gap at 91. Remember, this is by stages. This is a ladder. The first level is 91 and the second level is 94.8. I am just monitoring this. I didn't enter on the 1 hour Degen trade. I share it with you. Because if there are people that were interested in a little bit more risk, and I'm gonna show you why that is a little bit more risky in just a second. Let's go to the daily time frame. Let's see what we can find for continuation. Have we broken against the global resistance? That is the main question for the day. No, we haven't. With the Trump pump, we went into 52, and thanks to this 1 hour setup, this is the move what we have done. So we are pretty far from the resistance. We have still room to rally into that resistance, now located at an RSI of 50 on the daily. So we need to monitor that, because that is probably going to put some resistance in this trade. And the MACD still doesn't do the bullish cross. Let's go to the CPR channel. I also want to see if we have managed to reconquer the pivots, and I can see that we are kind of halfway through progressing in here, just challenging the first pivot in the middle, which is 88.5. We need to still go beyond 90.5. That, together with the resistance of RSI 50 on the daily, is going to be the difference between succeeding on exiting from this channel like we did in here, but holding, that will be the critical part, right? So turning this pivot into support so we can continue rallying into 98.6. That is a potential target for the crypto summit, as long as the tariffs continue progressing, which is something I haven't said yet in the video. Yesterday there were some news that there might be some compromise solution with the tariffs, just because all the other countries are pushing back and are saying, well, whatever you do, we're going to do precisely the same to the US. Therefore, there might be some undergoing negotiations for a compromise solution, and maybe that's not going to play out, but just the hopes of that is what's also giving some relief. Nasdaq and S&P, I'm not going to necessarily show everything, but Nasdaq and S&P saw a little bit of upside on the 4 hour time frame, and I can show you just very briefly, because I don't have time to go full in depth on this video, but you can see that it got bought up just a tiny bit. We are still in the breakdown area, both on the RSI, and we have to do a bit more progress this week to prevent the breakdown on S&P and on Nasdaq, and that is also going to help the VIX to go back below that range where we are breaking out from, where we are stepping too much into dangerous territory, as I shared in the video yesterday. But of course, a reversal on tariffs can undo that during this week, because we are right in the week where we define the make or break on general markets. It has been like that previous times, and we have dodged the bullet, so hopefully this time is the same. On liquidation levels, we still have that 97. I believe that if we succeed with the tariffs and remains some just background noise, the crypto summit could take the price to that level. So I'm monitoring if we can contain on the 4-hour the current support that I showed you earlier, and that will be a sign of strength for continuation. Let's look as well. Let me move my face. Let's go to high block capital. In terms of petrol in here, we are kind of running out of it, so it's making it a bit dangerous. I don't see enough delta. We are slightly still with the shorts at risk, but not a lot. I think the delta was around 200K. Let's see if I can get it to show 264K. So it has reduced from 500 to half. So just bear in mind with that. Of course, if we start moving up, many more shorts might enter at any time. This is data that changes by the minute. Also, the bid-ask ratio has been very flat recently, so it hasn't provided any delta, any alpha actually. You can tell that the shorts that are in this area are using higher than 10x in average. So that puts them still in the alpha zone. It's been working as an alpha. That's why the price went up. Funding rates were also in the negative, but that is up until 1 a.m. Now it's coming back. The longs increased over 70, and the extreme fear. Those were the pieces of alpha that I put together in yesterday's video for the setup on the 1 hour. I didn't want to be part of that, because sometimes when I take a trade publicly that is a bit Degen and it then goes slightly against me, then people start commenting that it's wrong. So I shared the setup with you, but I didn't say anything like I'm gonna enter or whatever like this, because then people are underwater, and you know that goes negatively against the channel, regardless of still being something that can be managed. If you are a professional, if you're a pro, you can still manage that. It's just that the beginners just copy everything and then moan about everything, and that's slightly intense in my life to hear it all the time. So I try to protect a little bit on that aspect. I hope you understand. And if you're a pro and you took the 1 hour, I know some people in my Patreon did, and they were happy. There were even some comments. One comment was about the precision of the setup, which I think it went really well. Regardless of the high risk it was relative to the rest of the trades I typically take. If you appreciate this update, give it a like, write down a comment, and I'll continue doing these updates. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.